Hello everyone, if you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. This week's vlog is a little bit different because it is a viewer's choice vlog. So I put up a poll on my community tab asking which of the 4 books I listed you were most interested in seeing me read for a vlog. The choices I put were The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, A Fragile Enchantment by Allison Saft, and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And as you can see from the results of the poll, there was an overwhelming winner, and that one is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. Now, it is currently Saturday. I have actually been listening to this on audio for the past couple of days, so I am actually halfway through this. Full disclosure, I am not doing very much physical reading this month. I'm just not feeling it, so the vast majority of my reading has come via audio. So I will be splitting my time between the physical book and the audio book of this. Here's a little footage of me picking it up at the library along with another book that I would like to be able to get to this month, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. That one is Mother-Daughter Murder Night by Nina Simon. So I just saw it sitting on the shelf. It sounded interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to get to it. I will not be reading it for this vlog, but it is in that footage, so I wanted to mention it. But I, as I said, am 50% of the way through. Now, I have actually read this previously. I read it back when it was released back in 2011, I think. Let me check the publishing date. 2012. I had an e-arc of it. I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. However, I never finished the rest of the series. I put the series on my series TBR for 2024, and that meant I needed to reread the first book in order to go on with the rest of the series. And as I started this book, I truly had forgotten pretty much everything that happened. So it's interesting what 10 plus years can do. But this is about a girl named Ruby. Ruby is growing up in a time where many children are passing away from this weird virus, and those who survive come out of the virus with abilities that are labeled by color. So you have green, blue, yellow, orange, and red, and the kids are all sent to like these camps. Ruby is one of them. She's sent to the camp at age 10, and this is about what happens after that. So the bulk of this book is taking place when Ruby is 16. She is able to escape the camp with the help of some other people, and she has now met up with 3 other kids. So we have Zoo, Liam, and Chubbs, and they are basically trying to find this like safe haven for children like them with abilities, and that's where we are. So I'm halfway through. As I said, I'm on chapter 16. My goal today is going to be to get 75% of the way through this. I will be doing that by bouncing between the physical and audio because, again, not really feeling reading physically right now. So yeah. I will say I had forgotten how big the font is on this. As I said, I did have an e-arc of this and I flew through it. I read it quite quickly that first time. It is a quick read. I wouldn't say the audio is like the best thing ever, but since I am really struggling reading physically, we gotta do what we gotta do. So that is this. I am enjoying it thus far. I do now remember how this plays out because now it's like jogged my memory, but I truly had forgotten everything about this when I started it. So it's a good read right now, pretty quick overall. I am getting through the audio quite fast. Yesterday we had an unexpected bad weather day. We had to do e-learning though. I did not listen to any of the book yesterday, but I did listen to more of it today. While I was running errands, you saw I went to Ulta. I also had to pop by Target. I just went ahead and did my like weekly shopping today. Normally I have Sunday as my shopping day, but I figured since I was already out to pick this book up from the library, I needed to go ahead and just get all the errands run at once so I didn't have to go out again tomorrow. It is very cold outside here. We're at like 19 degrees. Last night the wind chill was like -30. So yeah, it's very cold, but I'm happy now that I'm inside. I have this book. I'm gonna do like a little bit of other stuff throughout the day. I'm actually making lunch right now, which I'm going to go eat, and then we will dive in and talk about this book. So once I get to the 75% mark, I will come back and chat with you, give you an update, and let you know how it's going. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. So I will see you in a little bit with an update. Hello all, it's significantly later since the last time I talked to you, but I have reached 75% in The Darkest Mind, so I'm on chapter 23. There are 30 chapters total, so I will finish this off tomorrow. Right now, as it sits, I don't think I would put this at 5 stars, which is what I gave it the first time that I read it back in 2012. Again, my reading tastes have definitely changed in the past 12 years, so that's not surprising. I am still enjoying it decently well, but I'm not sure that it's really anything significantly different than any of like the other dystopian stuff that is now out there. I feel like when this was released, this was one of the more fresh takes on the dystopian genre, kind of one of the first ones to do it. So I think that was why I liked it so much, because it was different than anything I'd really read previously. But right now in 2024, I'm not really sure how well this really stands out or stands up even. So anyway, where we are right now, and this is all like in the synopsis, so I'm trying to be very chill about like spoilers. But in the story, again, Ruby and her group of friends have now found the camp that they had been looking for like the vast majority of the book. They have been there a handful of days, and Ruby has now met the leader of the camp, and the leader of the camp has agreed to kind of help her with her ability to try to get her more able to use it at will and control it a little bit better. So that's where we are. And again, I now remember how this is going to end. But I will say there was a nice build up to them getting to the camp. I do think it drug on a little bit too long. And I definitely like the characters, but I think a little bit more could have been done to like really have you become invested in their story. So you're definitely mainly pulling for Ruby. She is the main narrator. You get feelings for Liam, who is one of the boys that she meets like along the way, but I think it's all kind of just very superficial and nothing in depth. I don't really know how else to put that into words. So while I am still enjoying this, I definitely am not going to be giving this 5 stars upon reread. I don't know where my rating will go, because I do remember that like the action really ticks up in this last part right here. So obviously I will let you know once I have decided, but I do still think it's worth reading, but I'm not sure that it's as groundbreaking as it was when it was first written. So that's all I'll say about that. I am going to not do any more reading tonight. I want to actually play a little bit of The Sims. I'm going to watch some of the Australian Open tennis and tackle the rest of this tomorrow. So I will come back at that point, finish this off, and let you know kind of my overall thoughts and feelings on it. Also, I know that there are a number of short stories in this universe. If you have read this series and you've read those short stories, do you recommend them? And do you recommend them in the order that they're listed like on the series page? I'll put a screenshot right here of what I'm talking about. There are a number of short stories in this collection, and one of them comes like right after this first book. So should I go ahead and read that before I read the second one? That's kind of the question. Should I read them in the order that they're actually listed, or is it okay to kind of wait and read them all at once like at the end? Let me know if you've read this or not. That would be my next question. I don't even know if the library has them, but I am curious to know if they really add to the story at all. So anyway, that's the update. That was a very long-winded way of saying that I'm enjoying this, but not as much as I did the first time I read it. Although I do still think it's a good time overall, and I am looking forward to finally finishing the series to see how it all plays out. So I will see you tomorrow with another update. Hello all, it is time for my final update on The Darkest Minds. It is a couple days since the last time I talked to you. I did not finish this on Sunday, and I also didn't read it on Monday. Monday was a snow day, yay. So I actually had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So I totally could have gotten this done, but I just really wasn't interested in doing that. And that is, I guess, my overwhelming feeling about this right now. So first of all, I did finish listening to this on audio. I've already talked about how reading physically is not something that I'm really wanting to do right now. I did do a tiny bit of physical reading on this, but the vast majority was audio. I really think that this book suffers from just the plethora of other stories that have come out since its release regarding dystopian type topics. This one is well written. It has characters that you can get behind and root for, and it does have some unique things mixed in to make it the dystopian. But honestly, if I had read this for the first time now, I still think I probably would have put it at like 4 stars. I think I would have enjoyed it. There are enough twists and turns that kind of keep you engaged. As a reread, this does not stand up well at all. And that's coming from someone who didn't remember anything about this book before I started the reread. But once I was into the story, it all kind of came back to me, and I remembered exactly what went down. And so because of that, it just was not as impactful as it was the first time. So I honestly would put this at like a 3.5 right now, which is what I'm gonna rate it. And probably change my Goodreads rating too, with some notes about how it just doesn't stand up well to rereading. That being said, I am glad that I went back and did a reread because I will be much more fresh with what happened. There is a kind of like a cliffhanger at the end. The last quarter of the book was much more fast-paced. I do still think that pacing is not great through parts of this book. I think some of the driving around aimlessly could have been cut down just a tad. But yeah, it's still a decent book. As I said, I think had I read it for the first time this year, it would be a 4-star read. I just don't know that ultimately it is anything spectacular in the dystopian genre. But obviously, the rest of the series could change that. So I'll have to see how it all kind of shakes out. So I don't know when I will necessarily get to the second book, which is called Never Fade. I am hopeful that I can get this series finished in like the first half of 2024. So we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, so I guess my overall thinking would be, if you have not read this and you like the dystopian genre, YA dystopian in particular, go for it. I think there's a lot to enjoy in here. It just doesn't hold up as a reread, and it definitely is not as good for me in 2024 as it was in 2012 or whenever I said this book was released. So that's that. That's the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed the first Viewer's Choice vlog. I will be doing more of these throughout the year, so keep an eye on my community posts and vote and let me know what you would like to see me read. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.